It's not uncommon for older cats and senior felines to have a myriad of health issues, and one such issue, often a symptom of a larger concern such as kidney or thyroid disease, is weight loss. While we all know that obesity can be an issue that plagues many felines and weight control should always be a priority item, weight loss can be just as serious. In this material, I'll talk about the important role that diet plays when it comes to stabilizing the weight of your older feline, and what you can do in an effort to make mealtime both enjoyable and efficient from a dietary needs standpoint. Older cats sometimes need special foods and special meal prep in order to get the essentials they require. The senior life, weight loss, and how to turn it all around. I've got you covered. Stay tuned. Before we begin with the topic of what to feed a struggling cat, as I noted in the introduction, in many cases the weight loss of a senior cat is merely a symptom of a larger issue. And while it could very well be true that your cat is thin because they're refusing to eat due to a lack of interest in the food selection, or even the mealtime setup, let's call it, it's important to be sure, to make sure. And while routine vet visits are always recommended, as your cat ages, making sure that your pet is in a positive standing of health is all the more important. So, before you attempt to cater to your cat's dietary needs, find out what's really going on. If your cat is diagnosed with a medical issue, your vet could recommend specific food selections in an effort to increase appetite and help your cat to gain weight. Now, speaking of those food selections, what is served and how the food is served are both equally important. One of the first things you could do is add a small amount of vegetable oil to your cat's existing meals, and while this could potentially cause your cat to have an upset stomach and a bout with diarrhea, it could be wise to give it a brief trial run. Just see how your cat fares, and if weight gain is a byproduct of this addition. How many times does your senior feline eat per day? If your cat is thin yet still has a very robust appetite, adding additional meals during the day could help to increase your cat's weight. While maintaining a scheduled meal time, allow your cat to have access to a small bowl of dry food. Keep fresh dry food around. This will not only increase your cat's intake, but it could also help to add weight. Please consult your vet if not already in talks and ask if dry food could be a helpful aid. Let's briefly talk about the dynamic of a multi-cat household. I know at one time this was my situation. I had several kittens and a senior cat knocking on the age of 20. You want to talk about night and day. Do you have a multi-cat household where your elderly cat dines with younger adult felines? Does your pet seem to feel like the odd cat out? If your older cat is just not able to compete, for lack of a better word, with the younger cats or simply has resigned itself to being last in line, this can be very stressful. Not to mention mealtime, it's just not so much fun anymore. Your cat's weight loss is the result of food competition and stress around the idea of mealtime. Make it a priority to give your senior cat the first-class treatment. Allow them to take center stage. Allow them to eat in peace. They've earned it. Try this for a while and see if your cat's eating habits improve, and see if your pet's weight increases. Another tip when it comes to adding weight is to alternate what your cat eats as a primary meal. If your pet is heavy on the wet food, give some dry food, just for a few days before switching back. This is not unlike the suggestion regarding the act of leaving out a bowl of dry food for easy access. Just change things up a bit. If your cat is hungry, allow some mealtime variety to reign supreme for a while. And speaking of changing things up, do you dress your cat's food up just a bit? Do you dress it up? Do you add things to the existing foods? If so, attempt to offer single standard meals instead. Your cat's weight loss could be due to the introduction of meal toppers that are simply not that interesting. Give your senior cat the basics. See if that helps when it comes to how much your cat consumes. Given that our topic is what to feed, let's now talk about flavors. Because while wet cat food specifically designed for feline consumption, except no substitutes, by the way, is indeed the way to go, the flavors, let's not sleep on the flavors. What does your cat prefer? Are there certain flavors that your cat has never tried? Because while felines are creatures of habit and routine, when it comes to weight loss and perhaps the lack of food consumption, variety could very well be the spice of life in this case. Allow your cat to taste new things. your pet really hits on something they enjoy, they'll likely stick with it for a while. The result, the potential for positive weight gain. Now let's talk temperature, regardless of what you're serving up, and any changes that you've made. For cats, it's all about the scent. If they can't get beyond the smell, it really doesn't matter what something tastes like. For your elderly feline, that scent, it needs to grab your cat, perk them up a bit, make them interested. Try warming up your cat's food for just a few seconds. This will make everything a bit more bold and hopefully more appealing. A new twist on perhaps something very routine. Of course, you can't really talk about cat food and cat food additions without talking about small amounts of unseasoned baked chicken, complete white meat, and perhaps a small amount of tuna juice. The common standby additions. Many older felines need a much higher caloric intake in order to maintain a healthy body weight, and by adding other, let's call them feline favorites, if you will, this can help to bolster each meal. Above all, when it comes to food and mealtime recommendations, listen to your vet. Therapeutic nutrition meals can be quite helpful. This is especially true if your cat has indeed been diagnosed with a health condition. Both wet and dry food that cater to specific needs, they can be of great service during your senior cat's time of need. As a cat owner, the primary responsibility at all times is to meet your cat's most basic and essential needs while supplying them with the best life possible. That's the job. However, as your cat enters those golden years, making sure that your cat's mental and physical health are in good standing becomes all the more important. Playtime often gets replaced with more pets and cuddles, and those grand adventures are replaced with more comfort and certainly more care. And if your senior cat is losing weight, being proactive is the very first step. Before you try different food ideas and focus on how each meal is served, make sure that your cat is okay. Make sure that your cat's weight loss isn't due to some type of underlying health concern. It requires its very own treatment and care. Making your cat's final chapter in the book of life as special as it can be. That's the objective. And as a loving owner, so much of that chapter can be written by you. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, if you can relate to this topic, please let me know. Please share your stories, any tips to offer, pieces of positive advice. What you have to say could help others. And that's what it's all about. We're a community, and helping each other through responsible means. That's the goal. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.